बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। नाज़रीन अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं हूं गज़नफ़र हाशमी और आप प्रोग्राम देख रहे हैं वाइड एंगल। नाज़रीन, आज हम अपने प्रोग्राम में उस एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑर्डर पर बात करेंगे जो प्रेसिडेंट ओबामा ने 28 नवंबर को साइन किया और इशू कर दिया। इलीगल जो इमिग्रेंट्स यहाँ पर मौजूद थे अमेरिका में, उनको 3 साल के लिए एमनेस्टी दे दी गई उस एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑर्डर की रूह से। इसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस क्या हैं, इस ऑर्डर में है क्या, इसकी तफसीलात क्या हैं, रिपब्लिकन्स क्यों इस ऑर्डर की मुखालफत कर रहे हैं और हमारी मजमूई जो सोसाइटी है अमेरिकन, उस पर इसके क्या असरात होंगे, इस पर आज हम बात करेंगे। और मैंने अपने स्टूडियो में जिन हजरात को दावत दी है, हमारे मुअज़्ज़ज़ मेहमान, माई फर्स्ट गेस्ट इज़ मिस्टर जॉर्ज विली। जॉर्ज विली इज़ अ नोन एंड पॉपुलर famous attorney of Houston City. Thank you very much for being with us, Mr.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm just glad to be here.
And my second guest is Mr. Fayyaz Merchant. Fayyaz Merchant is a very well-known businessman. He is a very good analyst, good speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And my third guest is Mr. Ghulam Bombewala. He is also a very well-known figure of the Houston City. Ghulam Bombewala जो हैं वो पाकिस्तान एसोसिएशन ऑफ ग्रेटर ह्यूस्टन के बानियों में शुमार होते हैं, उसके प्रेसिडेंट भी रह चुके हैं और कम्युनिटी में एक फ़ाल शख्सियत हैं। बहुत शुक्रिया गुलाम भाई, आप तशरीफ़ लाए हमारे प्रोग्राम में।
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Mr. Willie, I start from you. I take from your viewpoint, what is exactly this executive order describes? What benefits have been given in this executive order to the illegal immigrants?
Well, first of all, this is an executive order.
Right.
The president exercising some powers that he has under the Constitution. Now, there really isn't any clear boundaries to what he can do, except unless, of course, the federal court decides what he can and cannot do. But so, given...
But constitutionally, he is empowered to do that.
Empowered to do that, yes. Yeah. And so he exercised that. Now, what he has said in that executive order is, number one, that anyone who entered the country prior to January 1, 2010 and have children who are either U.S. citizens or green card holders are going to be allowed to apply for what we call a deferred action. That means for 3 years they will not be deported, they will not be harassed by the ICE, and they will be given work authorization. Now, we are not yet sure whether they'll be allowed to travel. We'll have to wait and see on that. Now, that's on the illegal side. Then on the legal side, there are several provisions that have not been publicized, but it is going to have enormous benefit.
But an attorney can, say that.
Right, and to this community, to the South Asian community, there's going to be huge benefits. Number one, he has created something called a pre-registration, which allows those folks who have a labor certification application approved, and then an I-140 approved, and then they have to wait for the priority date to come up, usually. For Indian nationals, currently they can wait up to 11 years. For Pakistani nationals, about 2 years wait time. Now, under this program, once you have an I-140 approved, you don't have to wait for the visa number to come up. You don't have to wait for the priority date to come up. You can file an I-485 as soon as your I-140 gets approved.
Okay.
And you can have the benefit of the I-485, such as the work authorization, travel document, and all of that. So that's a huge change.
So it means the time period that had become less.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they still have to wait for the visa number to come up to get the green card, but they'll have the privileges of the I-485 throughout that period. That's been the biggest problem for a lot of folks.
Right.
The other thing that he created was something called a foreign entrepreneur, which I think our communities are going to make huge benefit out of. That is, those folks that can come to the United States and create opportunities for American workers are going to be allowed to come to the United States on what we call a parole, or those who are here in the United States illegally are going to be allowed to do that under what we call a parole in place. Now, that again is going to be a huge benefit to many of the entrepreneurs in our community.
It's I mean there must be a limit of investment.
No, this is not based on investment.
Okay.
This is based on if you have an idea that you can provide. Because what has happened is Intel, Google, you may name any of the major companies in the United States, they were all created by immigrants.
Absolutely.
And so what this foreign entrepreneur provision is trying to do is to attract those ideas so they can come to the United States and develop them. So that's again a huge.
So it's very interesting.
Yeah,
it's
so
very
exactly. And then there are a few other things. Now, for instance, say the DACA program that we had that helped people who came to the United States prior to the age of 16, prior to June 15, 2007. That date has been moved to January 1, 2010. So that there's another 3 years, and they think there are about 270,000 folks are going to benefit from that.
That's nice.
It's an enormous benefit. Right. So you could think that the president, with an executive order, you don't think that he could do too much, but look what he can do.
Yeah.
Without changing the law, he can create all these.
So implications are, I mean, very far-reaching, Fiyaz sir. What do you see? What do you think? I mean, why, if the benefits are, I mean, so enormous, why Republicans are opposing this move?
There is a political motive behind it because Republicans think that the immigrants, mostly Mexicans and Asians, are Democrats, not Republicans. And that's basically the thought process which is behind their mind, that these people will become citizens and they will not vote for us, they will vote for Democrats. That's basic rule.
So it's a voting issue also?
No. There are other issues as well. They have other priorities. They say that first seal the border and do other things before doing this. So it was a postponement situation that let the borders be built, borders be closed and controlled so that more people don't come in.
Right.
In fact, right now, if I mean, George can correct me if I'm wrong, there are about 11 million illegal people, illegal aliens as they're called. The estimate is between 10 to 12 million. And I took an average of 11 million. So half of them are going to benefit because of this executive order. And as a businessman, the businessman will not have a threat of $10,000 fine for hiring an illegal immigrant. So job situation will become a little more better for these illegals because of employers were not hiring them, and people who were hiring them were exploiting them because they did not have the papers. So that exploitation for these people will end.
Do you think, Ghulam Sahab, Mr. Obama will overcome this, I mean, hindrances and the opposition faced by him from Republicans in the Congress and as well as in the Senate?
First, thank you so much for inviting all of us. And it's so honor sitting with my senior Pierre George, for the last 35 years together. This is going to be his legacy, just like Obamacare, and he will come with that. That's not a problem. This is just a pressure tactic on Republicans because everybody wants a credit.
Right.
That, Republicans want to do the amnesty, and since still they were kind of going back and forth, that's why he just did it. And our community is really going to get benefit out of it.
Right.
Just like back in '86, when the amnesty happened, we got a lot of our people, got benefit out of it. And even back then, myself, I did a lot of work on that immigration side of it. And it was, at the end of even further, going back to 1976, same thing when from $10,000 to $40,000 investment thing. I mean, a lot of our people are more enterprise people.
Right.
We're not a layback any South Asian. Majority of us are enterprise, so we will get the benefit out of it. But as an activist, I call myself a humanitarian activist. That we must be proactive. You know, you can't just wait till the last minute deadline, whatever the deadline. No, let's just be proactive, and we will once all the information comes out. Definitely, we're gonna put groups together just like last time we have done it. You know, even registration time we did the same thing. You know, a lot of town hall meetings. You know, just bring our people in. The more people are going to get benefit out of it. At the end of the day, not just as a South Asian we're going to get benefit. Also, the society is going to get benefit out of it. You know.
So, Mr. Willie, if the illegal immigrants are 11 million, as Mr. Fayyaz is quoting, why 4 to 5 million, going to benefit from this?
Well, he had to be careful how he kind of structured it. Making those folks who have citizen children and green card hold children is a little more palatable to the American public than if you just blanket, you let 11 million people, become like in 1986, as Ghulam was saying, where there were no restrictions. You know, all you had to do was you came prior to a certain time, and that was it.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, like on DREAM Act, the DREAM Act, kids under 18 when they were here, and they got in trouble, and there was almost 300,000. Okay?
Yes.
Going back 10 years, I worked on that with Sheila Jackson and some others, you folks. We done a lot of work on it. So a lot of things, I tell people, I say, when the law, when the law, anything comes out, it's not they just woke up and they start doing it. No, there are so many people, from our community, from other communities, they've been working on it for years and years, so it takes time to really come up with this thing, so that's, I just think this
there are
is the
two, different situations now. There are certain number of mayors who have formed, they have united, in the favor of Mr. Obama on this move. And there are, states, 17 states who have sued against Obama administration on this issue. So this is an interesting situation. How do you see, Mr. Fayyaz, on the consequences on the society?
See, the issue is that, technically speaking, the police is supposed to arrest illegal immigrant if they don't have the status. That's what the law says. But cities don't have the financial capability and administrative capability to do this because there are so many. So the mayors took a sign of relief and said, well, at least we don't have to enforce that law, which is mandatory on them to take care of. So that's one issue. The other issue is also the implications of this on states and cities. Some states have got large number of immigrants or illegal immigrants, like California, Texas, and some states don't.
Right.
So looking at that angle, every state is looking at itself, plus they want to score political points as well.
Okay.
But, adding this, I just want to add something. At the end of the day, like I said, all these lawsuits and all that stuff, that's, at the end of the day, all this thing, before Obama leaves, he wants to leave his legacy.
Yeah.
And this is going to be his legacy.
Right.
And I know he's going to overcome all
So
this
this is the time for break. Viewers, we'll take a break and stay with us.